I'd like to welcome everybody to Headturners podcast. I'm Travis Satara Clark with my co-host, Jeremy Dynamite Smith.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Doing great. So this is episode 1 of Headturners. And just give your background a little bit, Jeremy, please.
Background is that I train at Westside Barbell. I hold 11 world records in the sport of powerlifting. I am the 3-time baddest motherfucking dwarf champion via Barstool Sports. That's
Nice.
who I am.
That's Jeremy. Jeremy Dynamite Smith. Well, myself, I am Travis the Terror Clark, and I am a professional fighter. I fought in Bellator. I'm a Bellator veteran, kickboxing and boxing. Currently 14-2 in boxing. Fought all over the world. Been very blessed with life. I currently own a gym. I work with handicapped kids and autistic children and adults. Do a lot for the community back where I'm from. And I am Jeremy Dynamite Smith's manager, trainer, corner man, and now co-host on this here
on
podcast.
This amazing podcast
Yes.
that we're going to have one. This is the first, but we're going to have one of many.
Yes. So our first guest today is this dude means so much to me. He is a great friend, great big brother at the gym, great mentor in business, in life, and in general. You know what I mean? This dude means a lot to me. I'm sure as he does to you as well.
See, for you, it's like a big brother. For me, it's another father figure kind of deal because you guys are kind of older, but like, for me, it's a father figure kind of deal. He has impacted my life the few years that I've known him, and I can't wait for our friendship to keep growing as it is. But he is a special person in my life.
So looking forward to it. And with that being said,
Our first guest
ever on Headturners podcast is Tony Ramos.
Welcome, Tony.
TFR. What's up, Tony?
You guys done fucked up. You done fucked up. Yeah, we fucked it up. All right.
Well, welcome to the podcast, Tony.
Welcome,
Thank you.
I think you're good. I think it looks good.
Yeah, you sound good. I can hear you're good. Yeah, everything's good.
Just want to
Microphone
make sure I
check,
can
check.
fucking hear you.
Yeah, good deal.
You turned down the volume. He's screaming now.
Sorry. I'll back up from the
God
mic. I
damn.
get a little excited. I get choked up on that bad boy. But anyway, Tony, like I said, we think tremendous about you. We think you're one of the best people we know. Love you. You are a old school.
Nobody ever said you guys are smart. So.
Well, thanks for
We didn't say this was a podcast on intelligence. We just said it's a podcast
It's a real
about being
podcast.
real.
Get that out there.
We're not Albert Einsteins over
Yeah.
here.
No, I never claimed to be. But I am smart enough to know when I know someone knows their shit, and I'm smart enough to know that you know your shit. So we are happy to have you here, and it means the world for you to be our first guest. So
Well, thanks for having me. I'm
perfect. We're good.
honored
guys.
to be here, and I appreciate this.
Thankful to have you guys here.
Thank you, Tony.
We're just starting this out, so we're getting kind of we're just jumping in. So we're just gonna start out.
We're
with
very green. Very green.
Oh,
and
super green. Super
very
green.
green.
Yeah.
So,
You are green. You're young.
So the reason I was ever at Westside Barbell is sitting right across from me, Tony Ramos. My man Tony got me hooked up. We started training, and the rest is history. Now I look up to this man. That's why he's our first guest on our podcast here. I look up to him. I respect him. And whenever I have questions about life, business, sex, anything, I call Tony because for some reason he knows all. Tony's the man, the myth, the legend here. So, with all that said, Tony, my man, tell us a little bit about yourself. You hold some world records. Give us a little bit about yourself.
So I was born Hector Anthony Ramos. I go by Tony Ramos. I've been at Westside for 26 years now, maybe. I can't remember. So it would have been 97, 98 is when I first went to Westside. So I don't know however many years that is.
It's a lot. It's when I graduated.
So
I wasn't even born yet.
I own a concrete company. We do mainly concrete work.
Name of the company?
TFR Construction.
Oh, there we go.
And then people want to know what TFR stands for. It stands for Tony fucking Ramos. So I mean, a lot of people don't know that, and I've had a lot of people say, "Yeah, what does TFR stand for?" And my daughter's name is Faith, so I'm like, "Yeah, it's Tony Faith Ramos," because she works in the office, and it's kind of like you don't want to tell people that, but
it is. What
I
it is.
did name my company my nickname. That's what people call me. So. Kind of go by that. I mean, I don't know how much I know. I know a little bit about a lot, and
Nostradamus over here. This dude knows a lot, dude. He can see things, and he really does. He's got the what do you call that, foresight, or like he sees something that's going to happen, and he can let you know real soon. I can tell you this, man.
In the near future.
Yeah, he's a wise man here.
Yes.
Yeah, I spent most of my life like. I guess growing up pretty rough, and the world I grew up in was, I guess you would call it the ghetto.
Where did you grow up?
So I was born in Puerto Rico, raised in Brooklyn till I was 13, moved to Columbus, Ohio, and I lived on the north end of town off of 11th and Cleveland Avenue, and it was called Windsor Terrace, and they used to call it Uzi Alley back when I was younger. So. We first moved here. It was like, for the first 6 months, it was like every day I got in a fight, and then it's just kind of like you learn your respect, and you meet people, and it's like it's the funniest thing because I spent my whole life going to Columbus Public Schools, and this is what I tell people all the time. I ended up graduating from DeSales High School, which is probably one of the greatest places I've ever been in my life because I went to public schools my whole life, and every day at public school, it's who am I going to get in a fight with? What am I fighting for? How am I going to get through the day? Somebody's going to take something from you. You're always fighting for your respect. So, I'd gotten kicked out of every Columbus public school there was, and I got kicked out of 5 of them, and they finally told my parents that, listen, we can't educate your son. You're going to have to homeschool him or do something. Sent my dad this long letter, and they basically said, we can't do anything for him. So I basically took about a year off, and I went to my mom went to DeSales and begged them to let me come to school there. And it was kind of like I was a pretty decent athlete, so they thought I was going to play sports for them. And I kind of was like, I had to go to night school all year long, so I just ended up going to night school. Didn't play sports, but the first week I was there, they were having a pep rally on a Friday. And when they're talking about this pep rally, because my mind is in where I grew up at and how I always lived my life. Like, I was the guy, like, the way we grew up is if somebody would, like, I mean, I never. So I'll tell the pep rally story first. But we were going to the pep rally, and I thought to myself, I'm about to get in a fight. I need to get ready because something's going to go down. And I walk in this gymnasium, and all these people are like, "Hey, Tony, come sit with us. Hey, how are you?" And it was like a culture shock to me.
Yeah. Yeah, you're usually ready to go to war.
I thought it was going to be a fight, and I was like, this is crazy. But I was with some of those kids from DeSales one time. We were off of 161 over by Maple Canyon. There was a speedway there, and I was walking into the speedway, and some dude walks out, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "What's up? Like, we're about to fight." And they're like, "Dude, what is it?" He was like, "Hey, man, what's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Oh, what? Oh, I thought he wanted to fight."
Yeah.
And
they found out, don't mess with Hector.
No.
Hey, don't mess with Hector, man.
I mean, it was just the way I grew up. So, I mean, I kind of grew up that way, man. And I don't know.
I get that. Always be ready, man. For sure.
That's the thing, too. It's like growing up, especially, like you said, and always having that feeling you're getting into a fight. And I totally understand that when, we talked about it. And when people have the perception of you, and it's hard to get out of your mind. Yeah. Especially like when people always think about me for, short stature or whatever. It's like, is that the first thing they see or first whatever? So,
Tony, I was going to ask you, I'm Josh, the producer of this show, but I'm familiar with where you grew up on Uzi Alley and everything. Did you have to run in with the Short North Posse back then?
Yeah, so like, well, when I was in middle school, so So I had these tattoos on both my arms and a tattoo on my back. So like, you know, I get, so it was like the Brittenell, Short North Posse. I was a junior Crip, like so, and like I had this, and your girlfriend's gonna love this, is that I had this tattoo on my back that went across here, said "God forgives, Tony don't," and, I just went through all, like, it was just and yeah, I mean, it was really weird. But the funniest thing about me growing up there, man, is I remember thinking, I don't, and I'm not this, because I still got a lot of my boys and stuff I still talk to that, I grew up with, and some of us own our own businesses and made it out and are doing our thing. But I always looked at everybody around me and said, I don't want to be like this when I grow up. This isn't where I want to be. This isn't how I want to be. I mean, I grew up during the crack cocaine epidemic. I mean, I don't have a problem telling people about my life. I was 14 years old, and my friend Ro comes to school, and he's got a brand new starter jacket. And we're like, where the fuck did you get this starter jacket? He's like, well, and back in the day, there was, a lot of dope dealers and stuff. And he said, I'm not putting anybody's names out there, but he's like, yo, he hooked me up, taught me how to cook crack, and I was like, what? And that's, I mean, and, it started from there, I mean, you're just kind of like, you're a product of your environment and, things like that. And I will say this, that I learned a lot of things about business doing those things, but it's really funny because I've always been an entrepreneur. I mean, when we first moved here, and I got a fucked up way of thinking about things, and maybe I'm just, it's always about, like, okay, how to build something. But I went to school, and there was a girl, and I'll never forget this. Her name was Michelle Rice. And I remember my sister had gotten me some Now Laters and some of those blow pops. And she gave them to me, and I was at school, and this girl asked me for some, and I was like, 50 cents? And she was like, no problem. She handed over 50 cents. I'm like, okay. So I figured out real quick, and there was a pharmacy right down the street from my house. I was like, okay, I can take $5, do this.
Go grab some candy.
And then I did that. So my mom found $700 in my drawer at the house. And look, I mean, I wasn't selling drugs then, but she thought I was. And then when I did sell drugs, she never found the money. So, it's kind of one of those things. And I've always been an entrepreneur like that. I mean, it's always my mind's always worked that way.
And that hard work and all the things, the struggle and the fight that you did carried over into your world records, into the gym. Carried over.
Yeah, I don't even know if I hold world records or what I have, or I don't know
how you
what
run business too. I mean, it all carried over to the man that you are, and
work ethic.
The big brother or father figure that you are to so many of us at Westside. You know what I mean? Like, he really is.
Yeah, but I grew up, so that's another thing, man. That gang activity teaches you family. I mean, you were, it's just like you being in an MC club and stuff like that. It becomes, people learn how to treat their friends and their families with respect and to do these things. And it's always like, oh, I got to be down for my brother. The problem is, me and my dudes talk about this all the time. We call it the fucking hood tax. And it's, the hood tax is like, you go and you become successful and you do all the right things, and you and your boys who are doing good, you pay the hood tax to all your boys that ain't doing good and can't get out of their own way, and they'll come and borrow money from you or do this or do that, and then you give them money and you don't see them for 6 months, and then they're gone, and it's
a cycle. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like I've paid my hood tax many times over, and it's like we always tell ourselves, I'm not doing that again. I'm not helping him out. He's just going.
That 6 months is up, and
I mean, it's kind of like it's truly survivor's remorse. Like, I mean, I was living in Highland Lakes, which is a really nice neighborhood on a golf course, and I remember I used to have my friends over, and these dudes would roll up 515s in their car, blaring their music, banging everybody's windows, and I'd be like, man, can you just not do that when you come over?
Yeah, right.
I mean, kind of be cool about it,
Low
Low
profile,
dude.
So
Yeah, that's great though. But that's what it's all about, man. Is still staying true to where you are and who you are.
Yeah.
Because that's always that's just the way you should be. You don't forget where you
yeah,
come from.
I mean, man,
Money's great, fame's great, all that stuff's great. But guess what? I don't know if it's great. It makes things easier, but it doesn't change who you really are.
I've realized something about money, man, is that, like, it's like everybody thinks that, like, I was in the game, did a lot of things, had a lot of money, made a bunch of money, and everybody talks about, it's like it's easy come, easy go, and it's because they're like, it's just because you're making that fast money, you spend it fast. Well, I realized that I didn't spend my money fast because it was easy. I spent my money fast and on things because I was trying to buy my conscience. I was trying to fucking buy myself out of
Feel better
like,
about the shit you're doing.
It's like I never forget. Like I do be doing things and it was like I always had to buy something for self gratification immediately or something just to say, oh well, that's the reason it's okay that I'm doing this.
When you flip that, you made that quick.
But it's like, here's the thing: that game it's more fun putting the deals together and building it. Like my construction company does really well now. And I tell people this all the time. I'm bored. Like, I don't have to work every day like I used to. When I was working every day, I was rolling quarters to pay for diesel fuel in my truck. And the first year I was in business and all the shit I went through, I mean, I didn't have any equipment. And I had fun. Now it's kind of like, fuck, dude, what am I? Everybody who's got an entrepreneurial spirit.
For you.
Well,
and
you
wanted to, and you was grinding.
You're just trying to build
it.
something. It's just like I got my name on the board at Westside. I was like, fucking, who cares now? Like, what, And I honestly tell people sometimes that was the worst thing that ever happened to me is get my name on the board at Westside. Yeah. Sorry, I'm talking too much here.
No, you're good. This is what we're doing.
Yeah,
this is what we're doing. What are you talking about? That's why I brought you on, because I knew I didn't have to say shit. I just give you the mic and you take off with it. No, but for real. So back to Westside and that with the board. Why do you feel that way? Do you feel like
because
you got complacent? Did you
complacent? Because I always have to have something working towards something. I always have to have like a
goal.
A goal. There's always got to be something I got to be working towards. There's another step, and I like. So,
I have that same issue.
I have. I've grown up my whole life. So I'm a depressed person. So my whole life I've been depressed. I mean, I can remember since the time I was probably 9 years old, just overwhelming depressed feelings all the time. It's really weird because people are like, dude, I never fucking think you were that way. And, I tell people about this all the time. And, for the past 4 or 5 years, I've been really open about a lot of stuff. I mean, it's crazy because, like, there ain't anything in my life that I've ever really failed at except suicide, And I tell people that. Like, it's just a reality. Like, I've tried to, kill myself 3 times in my life. And I accomplished it once, but they brought me back. And, it's really weird because I tell people this, like, the one thing that changed my life, and it's crazy, is I'll never forget. I was sitting at my house, and it was Dr. Oz. I was sitting in my house, and I fucking don't like watching shows like that. And it just, I turned the fucking TV on, and it had been on that channel, and I was in the kitchen making eggs, and the fucking, it's on there, and he's like, he says, up next, we're going to talk about depression and this and that. And I thought, oh, fuck, I'll listen to this. And the one thing he said, man, that it really changed my life is that he said, when you wake up in the morning, get out of bed. Don't lay there. Because a lot of people don't understand about depression is, depression, once, you stop moving, the thoughts start coming in, everything starts going. Yeah, because I tell people this all the time, and it's just the truth of my days. It's less and less now that I'm getting older, because maybe my fucking hormones or brain cells or something ain't as bad as it used to be. But like, there's not times that I don't go by that I don't think about suicide. And it's not like I'm thinking about it like because I'm have a bad fucking life. I got a great life. I got money, got everything I want. I could do whatever the fuck I want. And that's what people don't understand. It has nothing to do with that. Yeah. And that's why I think that the way I am, I always need to fucking have some kind of goal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you always have to have some goal. You always got to figure out, hey, how am I going to get to this next point? You know, and that's why, like I tell people this all the time. Westside gave me two things. It kept me out of jail, and it kept me alive. Because, I mean, you guys have heard the stories about me at Westside.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, I would fucking, you know, I got a divorce. You know, it's like I've never done coke. You know, but I got a divorce. I went through a fucking tangent. I started doing drinking all the time and doing fucking ecstasy like it was Tic Tacs. And I mean, I've showed up to the gym. You know, I'd go on 3-day benders and shit, and I would be fucking fucked up. I woke up in Dallas, Fort Worth. I woke up. I remember this. I woke up in the airport in Dallas, Fort Worth, and I was with a girl. And she was sitting next to me, and I didn't know where the fuck I was at. And I looked at her, and she was like, "Are you all right, Tony?" And I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And we were on our way to fucking California. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah,
you know, I'm going benders. But here's the thing that stopped me. I would be doing it, and then all of a sudden, I would go, fuck, I got to go train.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, shit,
Training,
I got to go
training,
squat.
training.
I got to go.
Yeah.
I got to stop doing what I'm doing. Shit, I can't let these guys
Training
down. I
came
can't
first.
let Westside down.
I do and did go through the same stuff, and that's why I gotta have a goal. I gotta fight. I gotta have this. You don't, because once it's quiet, like you said, once you're laying there in bed, and that's when all the madness starts. My new trick is, before I get my big fat ass up out of bed, is I lay there and count my blessings. I'm like, whoa, I just woke up again.
Yeah.
All right, this is good, because before I used to count, all right, how am I going to get, who's going to punch me or kick me in the dick today? What's going to happen? You know, what's going to happen? And now I'm like, you know what, dude, you're awake. You can get through this. I just count my blessings. Like, man, I'm so lucky. I got the right people around me now. Like, and that means a lot, too, is who you surround yourself with, because I'm not saying that we got a lot of crazy people in Westside, which we do, but, you know, sometimes there's all other things that creep in that we don't need to creep in, because
Well, that's the thing, too.
it's rough, man.
It's when you talk about depression, like,
We all three battle
I
with
can't
the shit.
think.
Yeah.
See, Tony's play some things down. Like, I can call Tony. Tony's a real dude. Like, fuck, I've been dealing with some shit, and Tony's one of the people I can talk to about anything about depression and shit like that. And I appreciate you, Tony.
I mean,
I love
dude,
you,
like
bro.
I said,
Tony's
I'm always.
gonna be the realest motherfucker with you out there.
I try to pay
God.
shit forward, because, like, if I learn something, I don't want to keep it to myself.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I mean, you know, like I got asked a long time ago when I was doing really good in powerlifting, and some guy was interviewing me, and he was like, "Oh, well, you know, what do you want to be remembered for, and this and that, and powerlifting and this and that?" And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't really care. It's like, I want to be known for, like, the kind of friend and father and husband I was, because, I mean, like, that powerlifting is like that small of my life. Like, you know, those people don't know me. Yeah. They have a fucking, like, they all think, they see you do something and they think, oh, I know him. Mm-hmm. They don't even have a clue who you are,
people,
you know?
Yeah. They may be in a restaurant with you somewhere. Oh, I was with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not
I mean,
even-
I've had a guy, like, we were at Bob Evans with my daughters one time, and the guy was like, I had a Westside shirt on, and my daughters had Westside hoodies on, and the guy was like, oh, yeah, you train at Westside? And I was like, yeah, I've been there a long time. And he goes, oh, really? Yeah, I trained there before. I was like, oh, really cool. It's like, who'd you train with? He was like, Tony Ramos. And my fucking my oldest daughter, Shay, looks at him, and she goes, well, that's who that is. That's my dad. And the guy was like, oh, well, you look different. Your head was shaved. I fucking shaved my head one time the whole time I was at Westside. And, you know, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I was probably, I said, I was probably on a bunch of creatine and fucking bloated. I probably look different, you know.
Yeah.
I just kind of helped the guy out, ease him out of it, you
Ease
know,
him out of the
because
line
both my
situation.
daughters are sitting there going, this fucking guy, you know.
Nowadays,
happens.
if they watch anything on the internet, they train at Westside.
Yeah, they were there.
I would train at Westside. I know you're watching
did this.
stuff on TV.
Hey, as Westside, you guys obviously a common bond is Westside.
Yeah.
Can you explain to the audience what is Westside and how's that brought all the unions together?
Yeah, Tony, what is Westside to you?
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm going around.
All right,
yeah.
so what's Westside to me? It was my home. I mean, it was like my safe place. Like, I learned a lot from West Side. I mean, one of my best friends, George Halbert, man, is when I first started going to West Side, I used to fucking wear the same tennis shoes, match my fucking shorts and fucking socks, and everything was like fucking on point. And George, man, one time his motherfucker, dude, he couldn't match anything. I mean, it's amazing he dresses himself. It's like he's lucky he works at a place where they have uniforms. But it's like he explained it to me one time. He's like, what the fuck does that matter, man? And like he taught me a lot about that. And like I've been with George, so this is what a lot of people is crazy. So I've been. So since 2000, George has been coming and picking me up every Sunday and driving me to West Side every Sunday since the year 2000. Now, we miss some days here and there, but it's every Sunday for that long. And it's kind of like our day thing. So, I mean, honestly, what West Side to me is it was my escape. It was my family. If you'd have asked me 5 years ago, it would have been... whatever. It would have probably been a different fucking answer, but it was a place, it saved me. I believe West Side saved me, and it gave me an atmosphere where it's funny because you have to be a strange person to survive at West Side. You either have to, I've seen some really strong guys come there that probably could have broke some world records and done some really great things. But man, them motherfuckers are weak-minded, and I mean they just broke under pressure.
Can't coach hard.
I mean, you start pushing on them, and you're squatting, and it's like I walked around at 198 pounds, and man, I would squat with all the big dudes, and then you get a guy come in there, and then like I've never been beat at a pin press or a lockout competition, and that's like a half movement of a bench press.
Well, tell them how much you pin press.
905.
At what weight?
I weighed about 198.
Yeah.
Pin press.
But you break guys like that, and then when you've done it to them, they're just like they fold under pressure.
Yeah. Instead of rise up.
I'm not a guy like I talk shit to people I'm training with, but I'm not talking shit like I don't degrade them. I don't nothing. I'm there to like figure out what motivates them, what bothers them in their life that they're trying to overcome by lifting weights, and trying to figure out, okay, this is what I'm going to do. It's like you find somebody that's got some shit going on in their lives, and you figure them out.
Like what makes people tick.
Yeah, and I don't ever
push.
degrade anybody. So that's what West Side is.
So
to
West
me.
Side saved you.
Yeah, West Side saved me.
Jeremy Dynamite Smith. What does West Side mean to you?
I think West Side, like Tony said, it's a family. It's a very dysfunctional fucking family. I can tell you that, but it's a family atmosphere. Like, I've only been there for 2.5 years, but the acceptance that I was shown and the acceptance that I was brought into, and anyone is there for you at any time, and even though you will bust each other's balls, it's fucking they care about you because you want to make the gym better. You want to make yourself better. You want to make
ultimately we want to make the old man proud.
Yeah,
and that's something we all three have in. And at times it's hard to do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we try to make the old man proud. Try to do the gym right.
Exactly. But coming from something, I never thought I was good enough to be at West Side. So for me, I never competed in powerlifting for 2 years. I started lifting when I was a senior in high school, and I didn't compete in my first powerlifting meet until 2 years into lifting because I never thought I was good enough. Because I knew I didn't want to do shit for a participation trophy. I didn't want to do shit in general because for me, I thought people always looked at me as a dwarf, and they're like, oh, poor him. Like, just give him fucking a trophy. I'm like, no, fuck that. So for me, the idea of getting to West Side and understanding we are accepting you as a lifter who's also on that elite status meant a lot to me. And, I made it to that point where everyone is accepting me because I was an elite, not a dwarf.
Right. Well, like you said, your name's on that board. It doesn't say dwarf.
No, exactly.
It says Jeremy Smith.
Yeah, there's no asterisk next to that.
There's no
board,
bullshit.
right? Yeah.
It's just who you are,
exactly.
what you are.
And that's
you
what I think.
That.
Exactly. And I think that's what a lot of things nowadays in the world need. It's like everybody's a person.
Oh, 100%.
Everybody's a person. You don't need to fucking say black, white, blue, green, purple. Yeah. Like, we're all humans. We're all doing something miraculous. And maybe certain points in time that may be different, but we're all doing something crazy. And Westside just taught me, hey, you can do everything else just like a 400-pound fucking behemoth.
Yeah.
Just do your shit, dude.
Just do it, man, and
Exactly.
push yourself to new limits.
Yeah. So, how about you, Trav?
West Side to me, man. I walked into West Side for the first time. I was scared to death because I'm a different avenue at West Side compared to you two. You know, I'm there as the fighting aspect of it because we had it was not one big power movement. You know, it's multiple. We got to keep our bodies going the whole time. So I think when we showed up there, it was very intimidating. It was very but the atmosphere is what I've craved for my whole life.
Who did you train with when you were there?
When I first got there, Matt Brown. Matt Brown and I were training together. Matt Brown and I and Tom, Coach put me with Tom, and Tom oversaw us. You know, Coach would write up all this stuff and tell us what he wanted us to do and try to break us. And he would give it to Tom, and Tom would smash us. So start with those guys. And Matt Brown, obviously, a heck of an athlete, and one of the guys that if you're doing something, you're going 110%. You know, and he's out pushing you. You're trying to beat him. So it was just the atmosphere was great. Louis and I clicked immediately because you know, the kill or be killed mentality. You know, and he likes fighters, and it was just West Side to me has been learning. I've learned so much. It's changed my life. I mean, I'm now a trainer, and my career is training other people because of things I've learned at Westside. Right. I use every method Westside. I use it all, and the mentality and the science behind all of it is what I use for my life. So for me, it's been a blessing, and it's I don't know. I guess I'd say like school.
Yeah.
Like when I got a certificate saying I was West Side certified, you know, it's like I graduated from college, dude.
Exactly.
I'm like, what? Like I did it. And look, Ma, I made it. You know.
It's fucked up. I couldn't get West Side certified. They were giving a CrossFit seminar there one day, and I'd forgot my squat shoes on a Friday, and I went back in on Saturday, and Laura Phelps and Shane Sweat was there, and they were giving the seminar. Well, they were all taking the test, and I came in, and I was like, all these people were taking this test, and I looked at the test, and I was like, Lou, does it bother you I couldn't fucking pass this thing? And he goes, no, you know how to get strong. That's all that matters. I was like, okay. And then, yeah, because I couldn't have passed that.
Yeah.
You could. Yeah. I don't know nothing about, like, conjugate and all.
Oh,
I never paid attention to none of that shit. I wish I would have a little bit more. I just knew how to train and get strong. And, I mean, maybe I'm stubborn.
I'm not technical. I can show you how to do it.
Yeah.
I can't break it down like
I have a hard time explaining shit.
Explaining the stuff, yeah.
Like,
I know
do
what
it like this.
I know what the reason we're doing it.
Yeah.
I know what muscle we're working. But for me to write it out and tell you or explain it to you, I'm like, just lift the shit.
Well, that's the thing,
just
too.
Do it. Just do what we say.
That's the thing, too. It takes a different type of person. Because you said, like, Matt Brown, for instance, always wanted to outwork you, and you always want to outwork Matt.
It's atmosphere.
It's the atmosphere.
It's a competition. Everything's a competition.
It's also the mentality, though. If you don't have the mentality, I'm going to beat you, and you're going to beat me, or if you're going to kill me, or I'm going to kill you.
In the game that I play, it's kill or be killed. Like
Exactly.
one wrong punch, one wrong kick. The game that we play, your ass is done. And when I was doing MMA, like, you're taking knees to the face, you're taking elbows.
Right.
Like, and I had the mentality when I fought, I was ready to die.
Yeah.
I went in there, I'm going to kill or I'm going to be killed. And that's how you got to live it. Even when I box now, I go into the fact that this could be my last dance. But you got to be ready. And I'm not going to back down. I'm going to step forward and I'm going to keep pushing. And I'll die on my sword before I ever give up.
And I think too, getting into the West Side, the first time there, Lou was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be training with the girls." I'm like, what?
Dude, that's the girls were doing.
I'm like training with the girls.
Lifting
like,
more weights than I've ever lifted. Yeah.
Like, what the hell, dude? It's the 3 girls and a dwarf. So I trained with Melissa, Heidi, and Sinead, and I got the dwarf. I'm like, all right, fuck this. I'm going to work out of this group. I don't want to be training with the girls all the time. So I work my fucking ass off.
But the girls are strong, though,
Those
dude.
girls are strong as fuck.
Those girls, like, they were lifting. I came in and I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
There was girls lifting more weight than I ever lifted in my life. I was never in a real weightlifting gym, Like, we were doing stuff. It was do push-ups, do pull-ups, and bench about twice a week. That was what our strength conditioning was in high school. I'm like, that's bullshit. Now I was like, man, you know how strong I could have been if I'd have learned like that much.
That's the
what
best
I know
too
now.
when like people come from the Arnold, they're like, I'm gonna squat 315. Like that chick just squatted 315.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Like,
with bands on it.
yeah, you got ILS disease coming around like this. I'm like, all right, dude, you do that.
Oh yeah, not me.
But
I was like, you're gonna get him on another tangent.
Those people that used to come to the Arnold all the time. So this was back before social media, and it was when I first started squatting. So
Wow, that is a long time.
yeah, it's fucking long. I mean, it wasn't before social media, but like social media wasn't as big. People didn't have fucking camera phones and smartphones and videotape and everything.
Oh,
and
they suck when they
so
do
they
that.
came in on a Friday and we were squatting. This is a good fucking story for you guys because this is how fucked up I am. So I was going through a divorce, and I fucking wrapped I had a 9mm and I wrapped it up in my squat suit. So I'm fucking in the gym and I'm squatting and I fucking got my briefs on, which groove briefs is what you start off in. So I fucking went over and there's 30 people standing. Like if you're at Westside, there's like two parts of the gym. There's like a big doorway and there was like 30 people standing there.
and they're watching you.
And they're all watching us squat. And we're doing Circuit Max that week. And so they're all watching us squat, and I'm fucking doing great. And I fucking go take my squat suit out. Well, you fold it up. So I fucking took that motherfucker like that to unfold it and went like this, and that fucking gun went flying through the air and said smack, hit the ground right in front of him. Dude, like, I just acted like it was no big deal. Went over, pulled the clip out, cleared the chamber, just put it back in my bag, put my squat suit on like it was nothing. And every fucking one of them people were like this. They wouldn't even look at me. They
Their
were,
buttholes probably clenched.
they were all staring around like, holy shit, like what the fuck? Where are we at
You know
right
what that
now?
is? That's Tony fucking Ramos.
Tony
That's
Ramos
what that
there,
is right
dude.
there.
I mean,
That's exactly how Tony rolls.
It was fucking crazy, man. I remember the cops came in the gym one time, and they came in the gym, and when they came through the door, Lou goes, "Find Tony. Tell him to get out of here."
Oh, Jesus. All right, gentlemen. Well, like I said, this was and is our first podcast.
And we got to have Tony back.
Oh well,
Have
yeah.
to have
eventually.
Tony back.
We're gonna do a series of life on Hector.
Yeah.
Fucking Ramos.
Hector Ramos. We are honored
Yes.
to have you, Tony.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, I truly, I can't say it enough. I love you. I look up to you.
I love
I
you guys,
appreciate
too.
all your information and everything you do for us. So it means a lot to me. Jeremy, the same thing, man. You know, this is the first of many things that we're
working on.
about to do.
We're doing some shit.
So the podcast, here we go. We started it. We both got some fights coming up. Jeremy, when you got coming up?
I got a fight coming up on
Charleston, West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yes.
December 10th.
Awesome.
So
Who you fighting?
I believe his name is Casey. I don't know
Casey
his
the
last name.
Doorman.
Casey the Doorman.
So that's going to be a good one. I got a fight coming up February 19th at Wheeling, West Virginia, West Banco Arena. I'll be fighting Michael Manna. Looking forward to that. And so let's get this, man. Here we go. Keep working, keep training hard. Be kind, people. Treat people how you want to be treated. Stay the fuck out of our lane.
All right.
And what's the show?
What's the
Close
show?
now.
Oh, yeah.
Headturners.
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 Podcast.
Peace.
Hey, say that again without you talking.
Headturners podcast. Say what?
So,
Say it
head-
like
Like a
5
thanks for
times.
listening.
What?
Say it like 5 times.
Headturners podcast.
Thanks for
Headturners
listening to
podcast.
Headturners.
Thanks for listening to Headturners podcast. Like that? All right.
thank you.
Cut that.
Come again.
Thank you. Thank you. Come again.
Click.
Thank you. Come again.
Cut.
All right.
Run it.
Was that horrible or what?
That was great. Awesome. It's actually fucking great.
All right.
Turn that shit off. Sweet. That was fun,
It
right?
was really fun.
Fucking A.
Thanks for coming, Tone.
Yeah, that was awesome. See, it's like just fucking, so what? We just hang out and talk shit and we can make some of this? That'd be great.
Next time we gotta bring food. Let's bring food next time.
Let's bring food. You can't
eat food.
You can't eat when you're
Because it's gonna sound all crunchy and shit through there.
Let's bring food. I love it. This motherfucker's hungry. He ain't ate breakfast shit. We
Next
gotta
time
give
I
him
come, I'll just bring Doritos and I'll chew on them while he's talking. While he's talking, I'll just be
Let's
chewing on
bring
them.
this motherfucker. Let's bring food. The gentleman said there's snacks back
Yeah,
here.
there are snacks.
As we-
Grab a snack and we'll get you some food.
Know that the ride or die. I keep waiting on my seat. Know that the ride or die. I keep waiting on my